So you want to learn more about my past, eh, mijo? All right, all right. Sit down, niño, because the story I'm going to tell you is going to change your life forever. You'll never look at the world the same way again. In fact, this story is so mind blowing that I made an entire PowerPoint presentation just for you so that you understand how earth shattering this is to me. Our story begins a couple of hours past noon on the 13th of November, 1985. My buddy Jose and I had just come back from our lunch break, ready to spend the rest of the day tending to the tamale fields at the base of Nevado del Ruiz. It seemed like just your average Wednesday in La Mesa de Eruption in Colombia. While we were out in the field, Jose and I felt a small tremor and saw a little bit of steam come out from the top of Nevado. We didn't think much of it at the time because Nevado had been doing this for a while, actually, about a year, I think. But this time, it felt different. It was stronger. It was enough to scare Jose and I back into town. And it was a good thing, too, because a few hours later, the sky had turned completely gray and rocks started to fall from the sky. Despite this apocalypse, the people of Armero stayed surprisingly calm, soothed by the word of the local priest, who was yelling into the church public address system, and the reassuring messages from the mayor over the radio claiming that everything was fine. Like 4 hours after the initial explosion, the Red Cross had ordered an immediate evacuation of Armero, much to the chagrin of the priest. People seemed desperate to rush home and collect their valuables. But Jose and I had nothing but the shirts on our backs, so we followed the Red Cross's directions and got on the very first bus out of town. It was a very long and quiet couple of hours on that bus, but when we got off, Jose had heard on the radio that the evacuation had been called off shortly after we had left because the ash had stopped falling. Then, suddenly, the radio broadcast went silent, and a big black cloud appeared in the direction of Armero. Turns out a lahar had formed as a result of the initial explosion, and it either swept away or completely buried whole sections of the town in only a few minutes, and it killed 3/4 of the townfolk. I know it's sad, but you gotta learn about the bad stuff if you really want to know about where you come from. Which is why I'm going to go into the geology behind the volcano Nevado del Ruiz. Don't you roll your eyes at me, mister. Now, Nevado del Ruiz is the northernmost stratovolcano in the Andes volcanic chain of western South America. This belt is generated by the eastern subduction of the Nazca Oceanic Plate beneath the Southern American continental plate. Such volcanoes generate explosive Plinian eruptions with the associated pyroclastic flows that can produce lahars. In the wake of this tragedy came the launch of the International Volcano Disaster Assistance Program, or the VDAP, to track and monitor the world's potentially active volcanoes. So, the moral of the story is that you need to listen to your mother, especially when she's giving you advice, mijo. If I hadn't listened and evacuated when I did, then I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you talking to you. Now would I? Exactly.